After that little incident, though, Mahmoud, I'm putting your ass back on a plane. You go back to Egypt. I don't care.
What?
Happy day 2 of your lives in America, guys! Congrats! It looks like everything's going swimmingly, huh? Mahmoud, or should I say Bad Mood, literally hates everything about American life that he's seen so far. And Nicole has had enough. She's already threatening to send him back to Egypt. And I think it says everything you need to know that Mahmoud would gladly accept.
If you want to be a little womanizer, you can go back to Egypt. Yeah.
Okay, I will, but I'm done. I'm not going to now.
Good.
Clearly something has triggered Nicole very, very hard. It's strange because for as many issues as these two have had, jealousy didn't seem to be one of them up until now. But before we get into that, let's just start at the beginning. So the last we saw these two, Mahmoud had just arrived in LA, jet-lagged and miserable. Much to Nicole's annoyance, despite all of her best efforts, nothing could get Mahmoud to smile. But with a good night's sleep, perhaps, maybe, these two might be able to find their groove today. Nicole's certainly hoping so. And after last night's pizza for dinner, this morning, Nicole presents Mahmoud with donuts.
That one's coconut.
You better go with his one.
Okay. It's good?
Too sweet.
Now, judging from his reaction, this is the first time he's ever eaten donuts before. Keep in mind that Mahmoud has grown up eating his mum's home-cooked food. Egyptian food. And so far, the food in America certainly doesn't live up to his expectations. It might only be day 2, but you can already sense that food is gonna be a big theme in this relationship. I just hope that Mahmoud knows how to cook his own Egyptian food, because I don't get the impression Nicole will be doing it for him.
I don't know how you ate that. It seems so crazy. Of course I will miss Egyptian food because it's a big deal for me.
Mahmoud explains that in Egypt you typically eat things like
Mashi
or
koshari.
These sugary donuts are a world apart from what he's used to. Keep that in mind, because all he's having for breakfast now is coffee and a bite of his donuts, and all he seemed to have last night for dinner was a bite of his pizza. I think there's a very high likelihood that by this afternoon he's gonna be very hungry. His energy levels are gonna be very low. He's gonna be even more irritable, even more miserable than he already is. Especially as Nicole makes a point to tell us Mahmoud's already expended quite a lot of energy.
Even though Mahmoud was tired and grumpy from the flight, the night ended well, so...
They are a married couple. They have been apart for a long time. But for the sake of Mahmoud's conservatism, perhaps it's for the best if we don't talk about their bedroom activities. I mean, all I'll say, and I'll leave it at this, is at least that side of their marriage seems to be healthy. So what's on the plan today? What's their agenda? Well, Nicole wants to take Mahmoud to check out Santa Monica Pier.
I think you're gonna love it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I will take this with me if I can pray out.
Oh, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Now, for as excited as Mahmoud claims to be, and you wouldn't believe it from his facial expression.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But for as excited as he says he is, first and foremost, above all else, Mahmoud is a Muslim. That is always going to be his number one priority. That isn't going to change just because he's moved geographically. So he will be taking his prayer mat with him to Santa Monica Pier.
Even when I moved to United States, I have to care my religion as I do in Egypt. I'm never going to change anything about my religion.
Now, of course, I totally understand that his mum's parting words to him were to always pray. As a good Muslim boy, he prays 5 times a day. It's clearly very important for him, and no one's telling him not to do that. But he also needs to be willing to adjust to fit in America. This isn't Egypt. People don't just stop in the middle of a sightseeing tour in the middle of Santa Monica Pier to pray. I don't know if that's his intention by bringing his mat. But whatever the case, when they arrive at their destination, the pair head to one of Nicole's favourite places, a clothes shop.
You need a shirt like this? Yeah. It even has a back, too.
Shut up. What are you doing? I work at myself before. I did that.
Wow, take it easy, Mahmoud. Lighten up a bit. It's only a shirt. There's no need to kill yourself over it. Now, what I will say is it's nice to actually see him laughing. It's nice to see them having a good time. But unfortunately, it doesn't last very long. As they head back onto the pier, Nicole takes the opportunity to check in with Mahmoud. How does he like what he sees, she says. How does he like everything so far in general?
It's the first day, so it's hard on me.
I know it is. And I do appreciate that you moved away.
Nicole wants Mahmoud to understand that she does appreciate the huge gesture he's made. She knows just how big it is to leave behind everything to come to a new country for your partner. After all, this is something that Nicole has done herself. And she tells her husband to let her know if there's anything that she can do to make his transition easier. But just the reminder of home seems to be all it takes to put a dampener on Mahmoud's mood.
I understand that Mahmoud is missing his family. I totally understand that. But I want him to be as excited as I am.
Nicole says she understands, and she of all people should understand. But that being the case, it does feel like Nicole doesn't really remember what she went through when she moved to Egypt. Remember, this was her on her very first day. For as easy as it is to say that Mahmoud's grumpy, she too was grumpy. So I do find it interesting that she doesn't really give Mahmoud that much time to adjust. She doesn't give him the grace that he gave her. Perhaps she can sense that something isn't quite right.
Honey, what's wrong?
I'm just told you, honey, I'm just like messing with my family. Just it, but there's nothing wrong, okay?
But I need you to talk to me.
Mahmoud's missing his family, but remember that one bite of the donut that he had for breakfast? Yeah, now I think it's safe to say the guy must be starving. Maybe that is also playing a role here. Maybe his energy levels are low because he hasn't really eaten dinner or breakfast. Either way, Mahmoud tries to pacify Nicole. He tells her he's fine, just give him some time. Only Nicole is impatient. She wants Mahmoud to be happy right now.
Because you barely smiled today at all. So,
and
I just don't want to be, this to be an experience where you just are unhappy and...
It's a fair observation, and it is definitely killing the mood. But as the pair walk down the pier with an awkward silence hovering over them, they happen to pass by a random Muslim lady who's dressed conservatively. Now, Mahmoud doesn't seem to do anything out of the ordinary, at least not from what we can see. But there's something about this situation that really triggers Nicole. She immediately begins to fight with Mahmoud.
You like that?
Eh?
The girl in purple.
Why you talk about it?
And you know what I saw him? Stop dead in your tracks to there.
Stop what?
I saw what happened.
Nicole claims that she's been married to Mahmoud long enough to know when he's excited by something he sees. She also claims that Mahmoud apparently stopped dead in his tracks to stare at the Muslim lady wearing a headscarf. And very tellingly, she also acknowledges she is insecure that she might not be enough for Mahmoud. Specifically, she might not be Muslim enough for him.
If you want an Arab woman, you should go get one.
Like, why I'm here now?
But after that little incident, though, Mahmoud, I'm putting your ass back on a plane. You go back to Egypt. I don't care.
Nicole is furious, and Mahmoud genuinely seems to be confused about what her problem is. It's hard to know who to believe here. Could Mahmoud have been staring? Yeah, of course he could. But keep in mind, it may also have been because this is the only lady he's seen in a headscarf on Santa Monica Pier. That's also a possibility too. Like, the camera definitely didn't pick up on Mahmoud stopping dead in his tracks like Nicole claimed. But at the same time, while Nicole could be overreacting, she knows her husband much better than we do. There was clearly something there. Something that Nicole felt warranted this reaction. And one thing we know about Mahmoud is he hates when Nicole swears.
If you want to be a little womanizer, you can go back to Egypt. Yeah.
Okay, I will. I'm done. I'm not going to now.
Good.
And just like that, on day 2, Nicole and Mahmoud's American dream is hanging on by a thread. Whatever it was that caused this, low energy levels, insecurity, or womanizing, as Nicole calls it, the one thing that's crystal clear is that these two are so very different, so very incompatible.